Hello everyone, welcome to my channel The Best Loser, and today is actually the first video that I'm going to be posting on this particular channel. As you guys know, I just literally opened this YouTube channel about a week ago, and in addition to the weekly forex forecast that I'm going to be posting in this channel, I'm also going to be making some psychology-based trading psychology-based videos. All right, pretty much anything that can add value to the trader at large. All right, so without any further delays, guys, let's get into it. Like I said, this is my channel The Best Loser, and let's get it started. All right, I'm going to be going through the currency pairs that I trade. All right, it's about 11-12 of them, and then a few metals, okay, gold, silver, and also Bitcoin. All right, okay, so without any further delays, guys, let's get it started. So I'm going to be kicking things off with Euro US dollar. If we take a look now, obviously this is the weekly charts. From the weekly charts, not much. Yes, we do have this particular trend line, as we can see here. That trend line has given way to the downside, all right, a few weeks ago, and now that's looking more like bearish in this particular time, all right, at this particular point in time, and hopefully we're probably going to be getting a continuation to the downside. At least that is what I can say from this particular price action that I'm seeing. If we go into the daily time frame now, at the daily time frame, it becomes a little clearer. Let me remove this. All right, it becomes a little clearer. You can see that trend line that was holding, and then finally we had the momentum push to the downside that broke that particular trend line, and since then markets has pulled back into those supply zones now, and you can see those levels have pretty much been holding price, and we continue to score lower highs and lower lows. All right, and then again this market pulled into this particular supply zone, and you can see we are getting some rejection off of that area. Now for next week, what I prefer to see, all right, again, remember, anything can happen, but my preferred course of action will be for these markets to give me another test of these supply zones, either of these, okay, either this, or if we can push through this and even make it to this one, even better. Okay, anywhere from right around these two supply zones, I would like to see this market give me a nice push to the downside. All right, that is going to be my preferred course of action. At the end of the day, the markets can do anything. Markets can open, and from here we start flushing to the downside. Who knows? I don't know. Or we can open and this market just continues to shoot to the upside. I don't know which one is going to happen, but then in my own opinion, based on the price action that I'm seeing, I would at least like to see this market give me a push into one of these supply zones at least. If we don't get a reversal from this one, and let's say the market makes it back into this area, maybe around 1.1800, if from here the market begins to give me any form of reversal, I'll be looking for an opportunity to go short for further continuations to the downside. Keep in mind that we do have this clear demand zone here, all right, that can easily act as will I say, a resistance or a support area, okay, at this point. So from here, maybe the markets might hesitate a little bit before we continue to the downside. All right, so that is something to keep an eye on. Thereabouts 1.1450 level. Okay, all right, so that's pretty much it for euro dollar. Maybe the market opens, preferred course of action again, push to the upside, and then from there the sellers can start coming in from the supply zones, okay, from the two supply zones that we have right here. Okay, next up is going to be British pound, some US dollar. As you can see here, again, if I go into the weekly, not much. Again, if we take a look here, this particular pair it's actually trading inside a supply zone from the really long time frame. I think this is from the monthly charts or thereabouts, or even maybe 2 months or 3 months charts. You can see this area was where the bears came into these markets back in 2023, all right, and we got this nice push to the downside. Well, the market has now found a way to make it back into that supply zone area. You can see right here we made it in, and you can see the BS came back into this market. This time around we've gotten really deep into that supply zone area, and who knows, it's as if the bears are now getting ready to take over and start pushing these markets again to the downside. Okay, at least that is what I can see from the price action on this particular chart. Okay, now if we read price action a little bit more, you notice that this was the previous swing high. The markets gave us a push to the downside. We got again to the upside, but this time around we could not take off this previous swing high, and now the bears are again coming into this market. So this could easily be a double bottom, a double top formation, all right, a 1-2-3 formation, and then from here the bears can probably start getting into these markets slowly but surely. This is the kind of price action that I would prefer to see in British pounds and US dollar, almost in line with what I'm expecting in Euro US dollar. Okay, so again, I want the boost to come in, and then from there I want to see a massive push to the downside. All right, that is pretty much it for British pounds and US dollar. Next one is Australian dollar, US dollar. Now, this right here is looking really bearish. If we look at the price action that we can see here, it's almost like if you ignore this particular two, whatever they call this candle, is this the railway tracks? I don't even know. Okay, if you ignore that, this is actually looking like a flag formation, all right, a bearish flag formation, with this being the pole of the flag, all right, and then this being the flag in itself. Okay, this is what I can see right here in a Australian dollar US dollar. That is if you ignore this candle. All right, so this is what I can see in Australian dollar US dollar. And if you notice, we're in early days. It's as if the markets just gave us a break to the downside. All right, about 3 weeks ago, the markets gave us a break to the downside. We've now gotten a pullback, and what I'm expecting now is a continuation to the downside, okay, from pretty much anywhere from any time from now. That is what I would like to see to give us the second leg of this particular bearish pole that we have right here, okay, or bearish flag that we have right there. Okay, if we take a look at the daily charts, maybe even the picture gets a little more clearer in my own opinion, because now what do we see? Again, like I said, ignore this price action that we have here, and then you notice that, well, in this particular case, the bears are slowly but surely coming into these markets. Finally, we got this nice push to the downside. 1 second. Nice push to the downside. All right, the bears tried to go back to the upside, but at this point they could not. I think it's probably around the 50% retracement of this particular move, and then from there now you can see that the bears have come in momentum, and we're beginning to take off demand zones that were formed in the past. So this is a clear bearish price pattern in my own opinion. You can see right now we are trading inside this falling channel, and the markets also, you can see this is also a flag formation in my own opinion. Okay, you can see pretty much the flag again, and what I would like to see is for price to give me a push to the upside, and then from there I want to see the bears coming in momentum in these particular markets for further continuations to the downside. Okay, this is pretty much a chart that I'm going to be keeping a very close eye on as we go into next week, because I really expect this move to the downside to be massive. Now, early in the week, if we take a look at the 4 hours time frame, okay, you will notice that, well, right here we have this very nice this nice supply zone, okay, that led to the break of this level of structures that we have right here. And since then, what do we have here? We have this horizontal level, so to speak. Okay, so what I would like to see early next week, okay, is for price to give me a push to the upside, okay, to grab liquidity above these levels that we have right here, and then into this particular supply zone that we have right here. Okay, and then from there I would want to see the bears coming in momentum into this particular market. Okay, so that's pretty much the price action that I would prefer to see. I want to see price give me a fake push to the upside, grabbing liquidity above this area, only to run into this supply zone that we have here, and from there the bears will come into this market. All right, so that's it for Australian dollar US dollar pretty much. Okay, a very nice price action in my own opinion. Okay, next up is going to be New Zealand dollar US dollar. Now again, very similar to the Australian dollar US dollar that I just talked about. Very nice bearish flag formation. You can see that here we have the flag, and what I would love to see again is for a nice push to the upside, and then from there I want to see the bears coming to these markets for further continuations to the downside. Okay, again, even earlier today you notice that with the spike of the CPI, okay, when the CPI was released from the United States, you can see that we spiked to the upside, almost close but not really touching. We didn't get quite into this area. Price just tapped the rising channel, okay, and then from there you can see the bears came into this market in momentum. I would like to see price, like I said, give me that nice push into this area, maybe 57.75, 57.80 area, and then from there I want to see a very massive push to the downside. This is my preferred course of action as we go into next week. All right, Okay, so that's it for New Zealand dollar, US dollar. Next up is going to be Canadian dollar, US dollar, Canadian dollar. Now, this pair, very nice and price action building from the really longer time frames. Okay, if I zoom out, this is the daily, the monthly charts. Okay, where we have this very clear supply zone right here, and you can see again, just like in the AU that we discussed, you can see we are building liquidity just before getting into that supply zone. And well, right now, what I would like to see in this pair from a longer time frame is for price to give me a push above that particular liquidity area, and then from there, I want to see the BS come into this market in momentum after tapping into this particular supply zone area. Okay, all right. Again, this is just my long-term view because this is the first video that I'm doing, guys. This is my long-term view on US dollar, Canadian dollar. This is what I would like to see. It doesn't mean it's going to happen tomorrow. Remember, this is the monthly charts. Okay. All right. Now, that being said, if we take a look right now, again, on the monthly charts as well, you can see that this is a very nice demand zone area, right, that led to the break of this levels of structure that we have right around here. The markets gave us a very nice push, all right, to the upside to retest that area, and then from there the bears have come into this market just enough to get into this demand zone, and you can see that slowly but surely the bulls are now pushing this thing for possible continuation to the upside, at least for a retest of this previous swing high that we have right around here. Okay, in the event that it breaks it to the upside, then we are going to be slowly running into that supply zone that we mapped out on the monthly charts. Okay, all right, but again, let me not get ahead of myself. The move that I personally would prefer, again, remember guys, I am not saying what must happen because nobody knows what is going to happen, but the move that I personally prefer is you know, for this candle to give me for this pair to give me a nice push to the upside to complete this move. All right, okay, so that's pretty much it. Maybe the daily charts. Okay, now in the daily charts, I kind of like what I'm seeing. This is that reversal pattern. The market has now broken above that particular neckline, in my own opinion, and well, as you can see here, the bulls have pushed this market to the upside. What I would like to see again when the market opens is for the markets to give me a push into this particular demand zone area that led to the break of this neckline, and then anywhere from right around here, I want to see the bulls coming massively in this particular pair. Again, I'm keeping a very close eye on this one. I would like to see how this pans out. Okay, so that's it for US dollar, Canadian dollar. Next up is going to be, let me see, is going to be US dollar, Japanese yen. All right, now we are into the yen crosses. Again, the yen crosses continue to push to the upside. You can see pretty much 5 bullish days in US dollar, Japanese yen. Now, if we take a look right here, well, no need for much delays. Market is clearly in an uptrend. We are slowly but surely approaching this particular previous swing high area. What I would like to see right now is for the markets to give me a retracement into, let's say, demand zones that we have in the 4 hours time frame, and then from here I would like to see the bulls come back in momentum in this pair for further continuations to the upside. This is what I would prefer to see in US dollar, Japanese yen as we go into next week. Remember guys, I don't have a perfect crystal ball, so this again is all just based off of my analysis. All right, next up is British pounds and Japanese yen. Now for British pounds, Japanese yen, again very similar. I'm not gonna waste your time. We have this trend line, we have this counter trend line, and then if I zoom in a little bit more, you notice that we have this demand zone that led to the break of this particular level of structure that we have right around here. So what do I want to see? I want to see again for price to give me a push into this confluence area, maybe 202.75 thereabouts, or 202.80, and then from here any reversals, guys, in my opinion, is going to be a high quality trade for continuations to the upside. All right, so that's pretty much it for British pounds and Japanese yen. Next up is going to be Euro Japanese yen. Not much in terms of price action. This pair, I'm not really feeling it. Okay, what I can say in this case is that we do have 2 clear demand zones. I don't really like this first one, but I like the second one better. Okay, so again, should we get a push to the downside into this particular demand zone area, I would like to see the bulls come back into this market for further continuations to the upside. All right, so that's pretty much it for euro yen. Next up is going to be let me see, Australian dollar, Japanese yen. Okay, so this one again looking really bullish. Okay, really bullish. Now price action suggests the same thing. We do have some form of trend line in here, if I'm not mistaken. Oops, yeah, we do have some form of trend line in there, as you can see here. All right, and price was pretty much ranging after this nice thrust to the upside. We got into a sideways consolidation, and then from here I'm expecting again for the bulls to come in for further continuations to the upside. Okay, this is pretty much what I can see in Australian dollar, Japanese yen. Now be very careful as we take trades in this particular pair, because again we do have a clear supply zone up in here. All right, this is the supply zone that I'm talking about. So again, price can easily run into the supply zone, and then from here the BS can start coming into these markets. Okay, but what I would like to see is at least that bullish move into the supply zone area, and then at that point I'll be making a decision on how to approach it. Now next up is going to be British pound, some Australian dollar. Not much to talk about here, looking like a head and shoulder in my own opinion. And we are now at the neckline. Literally the markets just closed at the neckline of this particular head and shoulder. So well, what I would like to see, let me see. Based on the price action that we're seeing right now, I would like to see this neckline maybe hold again for a nice push, and then maybe from right around there I would like to see the BS come into this market again for further continuations to the downside, obviously tapping into this particular demand zone area that we have right here. This is what I would prefer to see in British pound, some Australian dollar as we go into next week. Now if we zoom into the smaller time frame, maybe like the hourly charts. Oops, 1 second. All right, if we zoom in, let's say, into the hourly charts, you will notice the picture is very clear in my own opinion. The bulls came into this market, and then from here maybe something of this nature. This is what I would like to see in British pound, some Australian dollar. Okay, at least maybe to mimic what we have in this area of our charts. Okay, so from there I would like to see the BS again come into this market for further continuations to the downside. Now again, that's just a preferred course of action. Who knows, this market can easily continue to the upside, taking up this previous swing high. But again, like I said, I am not taking actions based off of what I'm saying right now. I am pretty much processing and seeing, you know, how the market is moving, how it is forming in our own eyes, and then from here I'm going to be making a decision on how to get in on any of these setups. Okay, it's just a forecast, it is not a trade call or anything of that nature. I just wanted to point that out, guys, because people can get very easily carried away. Okay, now that's pretty much it for British pound, some Australian dollar. Now if we take a look, what's the next one? Next one is euro pounds. Okay, euro pounds, really nice, not much to call out here. We have this clear level of resistance on our charts. Okay, as you can see, resistance, and then finally today the markets gave us a nice solid push to the upside, breaking that particular resistance area. All right, that is what I can see in euro pounds at this point. Now that being said, if we zoom into the smaller time frame, the picture becomes even clearer. Let me zoom in so that we can see everything. All right, something of this nature. So this is that particular resistance area that we have on the 4 hours on the hourly time frame. Okay, so what I would like to see, this is where the market's closed, a push into this particular zone, and then from here reversals would be, you know, pretty much my bread and butter for further continuations to the upside. Okay, so that's pretty much it for what's this, for euro pounds. I don't have anything in euro Australian dollar. So the next up is going to be gold. Now this is where I currently have I have a few trades open at this point, so I'm just going to walk you through because they are kind of swing positions. Okay, now taking a look here, very easy. Gold has been in an uptrend. Everybody can see that. I don't think anybody is disputing this at this particular moment. But again, earlier this week we had this nice push to the downside. Okay, retracements into these demand zones that we do have on the daily, and you can see right now we've had now 3 pin bars. Okay, in this particular instrument. And well, what I would like to see early next week is for price to begin to break this resistance that we have right here, and then from there I'll be looking for an opportunity to go long for further continuations to the upside. Okay, that is what my preferred course of action is for gold. Now looking into the smaller time frame, let me see, is there anything in here? So maybe for someone who is waiting for an additional confirmation, you might want to have a neckline of this nature, and then whenever, let's say, the market gives us a break to the upside and then a pullback towards that line, and then you also have a trade in here. At the end of the day, like I said, it is your call. Okay, so that's pretty much it for gold. Let me see, next up is going to be silver. Okay, and silver, again, very similar for me. The price action is very similar to that of gold. As you can see here, if I zoom out, okay, you can see that we do have this demand zone as well. Very similar price action to gold. And again, I have a trade running right now in this particular instrument. Okay, so well, let's see how it goes. Okay, I'm keeping my fingers crossed, just like everyone else. All right. Okay, so again, like I said, what I would like to see is for price to take off the height of these basing candles, and then from here I would like to see the bulls come into this market again for further continuations to the upside. All right, so that's pretty much it for silver. Let me see, the last but not the least is Bitcoin, and again, that is another one that is of interest to me personally. If you can see, Bitcoin right now is trading higher. One second, let me clean up my charts. So again, taking a look at this, in my own opinion, you can see that if I go into the weekly charts, okay, you notice that price basically pulled back into this particular demand zone that we have right here. And well, this is a little weak, to be completely honest with you, because we've had this dip here into this particular demand zone, and we didn't really catch any trades here. So this is almost like a second time around. So I won't be very surprised if, you know, this doesn't hold and the markets just continue to the downside. But again, that is not my preferred course of action based on the price action that I'm seeing on my charts. Now, taking a look at this, my expectation is for price to dip into this demand zone, and then from there I want to see the bulls come back into these markets. All right, and that is pretty much what I am banking on this position, as I have you know, shown at this particular point. Okay, so let's see how it goes. This weekend markets are closed until markets open next week. Then you know, nothing is really going to be happening on this one. All right, so that's pretty much it, guys. I just wanted to use this opportunity to thank every one of you. This is still a very new channel. All right, hopefully you gained some value from this video, and if you did, please do not forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Okay, I'm also trying to grow my presence here on social media. All right, guys, that's pretty much it. Take care and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Cheers and bye-bye.